Hello, I'm Stephanie Cruz, and I just have a couple questions for you. First things first, how is your campaign going so far?
It's going pretty well, considering it's a campaign. So they're never, they're not going to be 100% positive all the time. So little bumps occasionally in the road, but I would say pretty smooth.
That's good. Yes. And can you tell us a little bit more about why you're running for the school board?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm a mom of 3 kids. I have 2 bio boys and I have a foster son. And I started my passion in our public education. Obviously, I'm a public education grad product, but it really started when my now almost 13-year-old was 4. He had a lot of behavioral delays, but he was also a kid who we could tell was gifted. So he brought a lot of challenges into the classroom. And when we brought him into kindergarten, we knew immediately that he was going to need some guidance and help, and we as parents wanted to be able to give him all the tools he could possibly have to be a better student in the classroom for his teachers. And so we sat down with the school, with the principal, with the 2 kindergarten teachers, with counselors, etc. We sat down with a lot of folks and we said, we know that he's going to be a challenge and we want to help. And we've taken him to counseling, and these are the things we understand, but what can we do better? As parents, what can he do better as a student? How can we help the school help him to be a great learner? And from there, we had the best opportunities available from our public education, and I've just been a great proponent of public education because of the good experiences that we've had.
Well, that's really great.
Thanks.
Could you tell us more about what would you advocate Springfield Public Schools to do to mitigate the teacher shortage?
So we've got about 100 teacher shortage right now for SPS. What's really important right now is that we listen to our teachers. So the main problems that we're coming across with this mass exodus is we've got a lot of teachers who were 50th in the nation for our pay. We are the highest cost of living in the state. So then we're bumping up against all of these things, plus inflation. So what we need to do is ensure that we listen to our teachers, that we're empathetic to them. We hear their challenges. We work with them to ensure that they get paid better wages, and we work to improve the environment in which they're working every day.
That's really great. Thanks. That's a great answer. With a growing increase in popularity for school districts all across the state, they've been adopting the 4-day school week. Do you believe that Springfield Public Schools should adopt this as well?
I do not support 4-day school weeks, if you will. I think that it creates a lot of challenges. We've already seen a lot of challenges this year with our school hours changing, with our busing changing for our families. It puts a larger burden on our families who are already very burdened, and I don't support 4-day weeks.
Thank you.
Thanks.
And many parents, teachers, community members, etc., they've been expressing an issue with Springfield Public Schools' new adoptive start times, which you mentioned as well. What do you believe that Springfield Public Schools should do about this?
So I know the reason that it came about is due to busing, so bus shortages, the need to increase routes, and to get more kids on routes, to give kids more accessibility, which is incredibly important that we ensure that we give kids every opportunity possible to get to the classroom. So I know they were up against a big hurdle of either like multi-million dollars extra in the budget to buy buses and add busing staff versus tiering it and putting it in the schedule that they did. I don't think that we hit the mark the first time. I have now seen the proposal for next year's change, and I think that we're still not quite where we could be, but I'm not on the inside of it. I'm not at the drawing board. I'm not seeing what the numbers would look like, and if we can afford a complete change right now and keep all the kids on the bus routes. So I look forward to the opportunity to stepping on the board and being able to see all of the data that they have pulled together to help make that decision to see what we can do to keep the barriers broken down for our students, but also to not overburden our families.
Thank you. And the Missouri House actually just passed a bill which would allow open enrollment across the state. If this bill were to pass in the Senate, schools would be allowed to choose if they wanted to take part in the program. What are your thoughts on this, and would you believe that Springfield Public Schools should allow this?
So open enrollment across the district. So I think one nice thing about open enrollment across the district is that we can break down some barriers for diversity with our kids, right? So it's natural that communities become a little bit homogenous, and so you'll find that kids in a certain area of town are it's more likely to be, especially in a Springfield community that's a white community, very homogenous areas of town or pockets that don't have great amounts of diversity. So if we were able to have choice that allows our kids to either be in schools that are not Title I or be at schools that are Title I, depending on what their families need, but it allows them the opportunity for that choice. I think I'd want to dig a little bit further, though, to see what that truly means for our district before I would say I'm pro or con.
And on the topic of diversity, for our last question, we're the largest school district in the state, and we obviously cater to a very diverse group of students.
Yeah.
And so we've made national news for instances of racism, homophobia, etc., particularly in our less diverse school campuses. And what do you believe that the district administration could do to create a more understanding and overall safer environments for minorities?
So I think that it really starts with our teachers, right? So our teachers are in our classroom, our administrators who are actually in the class buildings every single day. It's really important that we work from there and we continue DEI training, so diversity, equity, and inclusion training for our teachers, so that our teachers can watch for signs, our teachers can help along the way to understand what our kids are enduring and help get them to someone if they need a counselor, if they need to get to the nurse, if they need to talk to family and highlight a concern that they may have with that student and what they're experiencing in the classroom. For our teachers to be able to see the signs of bullying, to be able to watch out for that and help our kids the best that they can. So I think it's really important that we start with our educators and we continue to provide them with enough education and enough resources so that they can protect our kids.
That's a really great answer. Thank you.
Thank you.
And before we end this, is there anything that you would like to say for Cruz?
I don't know. I said I'm a mom of three. I work as the executive director at Foster Adopt Connect, and I was an SPS kid myself through the 5th grade until we moved to a really small town outside of Springfield for me to graduate from public school. But I appreciate this opportunity, and I hope that I can earn your vote.
Thank you so much.
Thanks.